Interstate 440. Yeah. And the rest of the Raleigh inner loop. Alright, today we're going to be talking about Interstate 440 in North Carolina. It is the inner loop freeway around the city of Raleigh, the capital city of North Carolina. The loop also consists of Interstate 40 and a short portion of it. Let's have a look at the map. The red is outlined in our route we're going to be covering today, I-440, and the blue is marked in I-40. These two roads form the inner loop around Raleigh. You're watching the Xavier 456. I post new highway content every week. If you like this kind of content, then go ahead and hit the like button. And if you really like it, go ahead and smash the subscribe button and ring that notification bell. Alright, I must remind you that you can request your exit or intersection down in the comments below. Now, as of next week, we do not know if the toll NC 540 extension is going to open yet. And if it does open and Google gets Street View immediately, we're going to cover it, but that's probably most likely not the case. So with that said, next week I've got a different gimmick video already made and ready to be published by then. Alright, first we're going to be talking about the inner loop of the Raleigh inner loop. So we will start here at the western split of I-40 and I-440. We can see I-40 is getting signed for the Raleigh-Durham Airport and Durham, and East 440, US 1 and West US 64 are getting signed for Raleigh, Cary, and Wake Forest. Raleigh is being signed there in case you want to get back to the downtown via one of the exits, whereas Cary and Wake Forest are being signed for US 64 and US 1 respectively. Wake Forest is where North US 1 is going. Here's our first actual exit on I-440, and it is for NC 54, for Hillsborough Street and Meredith College. And here, not too far up, is the exit for Wade Avenue and downtown. This was requested by DerpHog. This time he had to keep his request constrained, not Quartermuch this time, because DerpHog lives sort of near to Raleigh, so he had to give me everything he could for this route. This exit for Wade Avenue is a major freeway west of I-440, and it takes you to PNC Arena and North Carolina State's football stadium, Carter Finley Stadium. At this very same exit, we are signed for Wake Forest, which is for North US 1. Here we meet with US 70 and NC 50, getting a Kentucky treatment of Glenwood Avenue, Crabtree Valley, even though we are right in Crabtree Valley, so I suggest you just put Raleigh there. And that at least Durham is signed, that's good at least. Here we meet with 6 Forks Road. This is an AB exit, south and north. This was also requested by DerpHog, and it's part of his childhood. He used to take it to visit his grandmother back when she worked in Raleigh. And here is where US 1 splits off of us finally, and also provides a connection to US 401, and it's signed for Capitol Boulevard, Wake Forest, and Lewisburg. Wake Forest is being signed there because of US 1, and Lewisburg is being signed there because of US 401. At this very same interchange, I-440 is now getting signed east for Rocky Mount, and now that's because of I-87 and US 64. And here's where we meet with all that: North I-87, East US 64, and East US 264 for Rocky Mount, Wilson, and Greenville, where Rocky Mount is where 64 is going, and Wilson and Greenville are where US 264 is going. And now we're getting pulled through for South I-87, East I-440, and West US 64, but we don't get any Control City for whatever reason. However, at this interchange, we do get 2 Control Cities, and we're signed South I-87, East 440, to I-40, and West 64, and we're actually getting I-40's controls here, and they are Durham and Benson! Nothing but Benson! Why that over Wilmington? You cannot sign where we meet in Interstate, and that is final. And here's where we meet with I-40, and it is getting signed east for Benson and Wilmington. Wilmington is making an appearance on there at least, and West 40 and West 64 are signed for Durham. Good choice. And we're going to be continuing on westbound from here because that is how we will complete the inner loop. Here is where we meet with US 70 and US 401 and NC 50 all at once, although that is for the southbound South Saunders Street and Garner, although we're already in Garner at this point. And we can also see South Saunders Street signed north for Raleigh downtown. And here is Lake Wheeler Road, the last exit I had requested by DerpHog, and it takes you to the State Farmers Market. And here we come back to where we started, right at the split with I-440, US 1, and US 64 for Raleigh, Cary, and Wake Forest, and West 40 getting signed for RDU Airport in Durham. Alright, now let's turn around and talk about the outer loop. of the Raleigh inner loop. So we're going to start the same interchange, and we're going to start going eastbound on 40, and we can see 40 and East 64 get signed for Durham, although that's for West 40, and Benson! Why do you have this obsession with Benson? I hate you for it. You hear me? I hate you! And here you meet with US 70, US 401, and NC 50 once again, all signed for South Saunders Street and Garner. You should probably be signing other cities on there for where these routes are going, instead of wasting it on a Kentucky treatment. And here is where we finally split from I-40 as we go on to North 87, West 440, and East 64 for Rocky Mount. And East 40 is getting pulled through for Benson and Wilmington. Thank you for putting Wilmington on there again. Now, I just wanted to show you this, but this is a laundry list of exits that are upcoming. Pool Road, I-87, US 64, and US 264, and New Bern Avenue. Here is where I-87, US 64, and US 264 split, and they're signed for Rocky Mount, Wilson, and Greenville. And we can also see Business 64 is coming up, and it's just signed for New Bern Avenue and Knightdale. And we're getting pulled through West 440 for absolutely nothing. Although, when we look off this interchange, we can see West 440 assigned to US 1 for Wake Forest. And once again, they're just following North US 1 here. And here's where we meet with US 1 northbound and US 401 signed for Capitol Boulevard, Wake Forest, and Lewisburg. And we can also see an upcoming exit for South 401 for Capitol Boulevard and downtown. And at this very same interchange, West 440 and South 1 are getting signed for Sanford, which this time is where US 1 southbound is going. Here he meets with US 70 and NC 50, just getting signs east and south for Glenwood Avenue and Ridge Road, Kentucky treatments, and West 70 and North 40 are getting signed for Glenwood Avenue, Crabtree Valley, and Durham. Durham's really the only important thing about this sign. And here's the exit to Wade Avenue, and it's signed for 2 I-40 West for RDU Airport in Durham in the right lane. Although this is all happening when there's construction. Hopefully it'll be finished soon. And here we come back to where we started with I-40 and East 64 signed for Durham and Benson. Okay, let's end the video now so I don't go on another rage. Alright, that'll be it for this video. Thank you for watching, and next week I'm sure we're going to be doing the gimmick video and not till 5:40 because I'm sure it won't be open by that time. But I'm sure it will be open nearer to the end of the month. May peace be with you.